Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I've got a fascinating game to share with you today. This will be a general overview and my review of this game, but more particularly what it reminds me of, and if those games that I talk about are on your shelf or your wish list, you might want to give Diatoms a try. So in Diatoms, players are these Victorian naturalists, and essentially they're looking at diatoms, which are these microscopic single-cell algae. So players are going to have this lens that they're going to focus their attention on as they build a pool of water tiles in the collective area. But every player is going to have their very own microscope slide board where they get to keep all of the diatoms that they are exploring. So let me just show you what's in the game. This is going to be the start tile right here, and to begin the game, you just place another tile next to it, drawing from the top of the stack of these decks. Now, there's not that many tiles here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because you are going to build this one tile at a time. So on your turn, you take a tile from here, add it to the two that you have in your hand, and then play one of those tiles out to the central board. And then what you create at intersections, which might include multiple intersections, you then get to add to your board, and then you will place those diatoms while other players around the table take turns doing the same thing. So there's a little bit of this simultaneous play in the sense that you don't have to finish placing your diatoms in your board until it just comes back to you. And so it gives you a chance to kind of strategize and figure out what you want to do. And you'll notice that there are different placements here for these circles, the triangles, the ovals, the stars, and the squares. And perhaps I should actually organize them based on the sides that they have, because we'll see right here that there is a really cool handy dandy field notebook. This is your player aid. Every single person gets a player aid that tells you exactly how things are scored and what to do on your turn, essentially, on collecting these. So we're going to have circles are the 1 out of 6 pie shape, then it goes to ovals, then it's triangles, then it's squares for 4, and then it's 5 for stars. Now we have everything lined up. This is making a whole bunch of sense. And if you get 6, you're going to receive 2 for it. So what am I talking about with these pies? So I'm going to take, let's just say I take this guy right here, I add it to my hand, and then I'm going to play out this one. So I'm going to take this tile right here and I'm going to place it in that intersection, completing essentially 6. You have to have the center of your intersection right there, and the way that you are able to focus on what you're only what you have to look at is this right here. So I've placed my lens down at the center, the intersection, and I've discovered that I get 2 out of 6 in this peach color. So I've got this, and they also have designs on here too for color-friendly play. And then I get the same thing for a yellow, and I get 2 pieces for a blue. And that's because it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I take this off, I put it back over here for the next player to use, and this is what I get to place into my board while the other players are doing the same thing. So I can place these ovals down into the oval spaces, but I'm not allowed to play them where you don't see an oval shape. And what I'm trying to do is to score really good stuff. So let me see here. If I place this down right there, I place that one down right there, and I'm going to place, let's do 1 in each. I'm going to put 1 up here. I'm going to put 1 out here in the center. Okay, so it just seemed haphazard, right? Not. So whenever you look at what you're scoring at the end of the game, matching colors anywhere just says count the amount of colors anywhere on your board, and you're going to receive points based on 3 or more, 5 or more, or 8 or more. That's pretty easy. So right now I've got 1 of each of these colors. I need to start getting more blue, yellow, and peach. But this is where things start getting really interesting. There's a thing called symmetric pairs on lines. And so you can have a full symmetry, a partial symmetry, or no symmetry. And your scoring is 15 for match of color and shape. So if I have a yellow here, in the same central ring on this space, I want to have either a yellow or an oval. And if I get both a yellow and an oval, I get the 15 points. If I just have a match of color or shape, I'll get 5. And if I put something else here, like a triangle in green, it's not matching color or shape. And you're going to do that for all of these on the axis lines. So this one I want over here to be a blue oval, and this one doesn't necessarily get to be on the axis, but it is helping me with my criteria 3, which is different shapes and rings. I placed one of each of these ovals in the inner ring, the middle ring, and the outer ring because I'm trying to get as many of these different represented as possible. So if you have all 5 shapes represented in each of your rings, you get 40 points. 4 shapes is 20, and if you just get 2 or more, then you're going to get 5. So I am setting myself up for matching pairs on the axis, for colors, and also for different shapes in rings. That's why I'm doing it. This is, again, my field notebook. It's fantastic. And this is going to be your judging sheet that will allow you to judge. This is going to be every player getting this at the end, scoring up their entire Diatoms board. This is it. That's the game. So let's say it comes back to me. I still have these 2, and my other players are going to have played at some point. Let's have them play this one here. I'm going to scoot this over right here. Anytime you have a white, it is matching to anything. And when you play a tile, it must match every single side. That is the placement rule. When I did this blue to yellow, that was okay. Yellow to yellow, and then here, it's going to be green to nothing. That's okay. That player who played that is going to put the marker here and get 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow. That's going to be a square. And then 1 in green is a circle. That's what they received on their turn. Then it's going to be the next player. So here's their booty, their bounty. Let's say the next player went here and followed. That can't go, right? That's illegal. But let's say it was purple. They wanted a purple, and they went here for the red. You come here again. That's the center. They're going to get 4 in pinky or peachy color, which is a square. And they're going to get that 1 in the purple, and then that's it. So now it's my turn. It's back to me. I'm in a 3-player game. I take one of these 2, and then I will place one of these. So I have a good purple here that would give me 5. I get a star in purple, and that's pretty cool. So let me grab one that's pretty versatile. I need blue for over here, and up here and over here. Peach for over here, but I think I might take this blue-yellow, save it for later, and then place this one right here. And I will look at my central finishing, and it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in purple. So I get a star. And now I get to place my star where I can place stars, which could be in the center, and it could be in any of these rings that have the star moment, the star placement. So maybe I'll place it in that spot right there, and then I can get another purple star over here for that symmetry, but also have a star in the central ring, which the very center spot also counts. All right, I'm going to place that back, put my tiles over here, and again, you keep playing until all the tiles are gone, and you will take out some tiles based on the amount of players so that your game times out just right. Now, here's the cool thing. You can add these guest judge cards for advanced play and for later plays. Once you've got the gist of the game, there are these things that the guest judge is going to give bonus points for. Hey, check this out. This is Lady Herverthair. Herverthair. Purple is the most royal of colors. 10 points bonus for each purple diatom. I just got a purple. So that's going to be fantastic. Minimum participation requirement, at least 4 purple. So if you have at least 4, you are going to get 10 points for each. This player example has 8, so they got 80. Now, this is for everybody. Anybody can qualify for these: purple, purist, color connector, asymmetric aficionado, negative nut. Guess what? On the back of the same cards, you have persnickety mood. This is going to be for the second most participation, and a negative score if you do not do what they say. This is more challenging. This is more competitive. So this essentially puts players in pecking order, so you are in direct competition for the guest judge and their points. And this gives you a chance to have those pecking order first, second, thirds. versus just anybody who does this thing will get these points. So this is something you can add to the game that really heightens the gameplay, the competitiveness, and the complexity of the game. So I will say that the judging sheet, the end of game scoring, does take a while. Like players at the end of the game are sitting there for 5 minutes perhaps, especially if you need someone to double check you. And you are going to spend time. Oh, first you have to count every single color. Then you have to translate it into points. Then you put your color score over. Then you have to look at symmetric pairs. And you'll see here that there are 12 different places to look at. Here and here. And you are looking, oh, so just this space right here. Center, middle, outer pairs. Then you're looking on this line. Then you're looking on this line. Then you're looking on that line. So these are the axes. And then you're going to add them up. Then add them up again. Then you're going to have to count shapes. Okay, do I have how many shapes here? Check, check, check. How many shapes here? Check, check, check. Okay, points, right? 40, 25. And then if you have any guest judges, you're going to award and deduct points here, totaling everything. Now, the fun thing is that you get to have a mosaic at the end. And I will say that my fellow players really appreciated having this booklet, particularly this page. This is the page they were looking at constantly. How many pie slices equals the size of the shape? And then this, of course, explains the intersection of 3 water tiles is where you're going to focus your lens to help you examine your samples, and it really does help. I'm not joking. And then sometimes you will have 2 intersections. So for example, this spot right here has 2 possible intersections that a player can slide a water tile in, gaining this one for all the diatoms and this one for all the diatoms. So that's a really, really great opportunity to get even more. And if you have one color that is all filled in with the same color, you must break it down into any of these 2 combinations of shapes, which is a 1/5, 1/6, 5/6, 2 and 4, 3 and 3. And so of course it adds up to 6. So you're getting that. So this is the page that most players are going to have. And then of course, when you need examples of how to score, you're going to look at these scoring examples, and it's going to be really, really helpful. So this is just crucial. I think the Field Notes booklet is dynamite, absolutely super smart. These are just amazing. They're little petri dishes, which of course thematically fits with what the game is doing with this microscopic, exploration of diatoms, which are real. It's fascinating. And so you could divide up your petri dishes by color, or you can do it by shape. I have done mine by shape, but if it makes more sense for your players to see colors and then find the shape that they want, that's perfectly fine. That's totally up to you. The pieces and the components are really thick and nice and beautiful. The game box is a perfect square, and I feel like there's been so much care and production put into this. And it's not overdone. It's just enough. It keeps all your bits in these spaces so that you don't have just things kind of like piled up in your table. It's easy to say, here, you want those 3s, here, there's the 2s, and you can pass a dish, you can just dig around in a dish. It's easy to put back in the box. There's a nice tray that fits everything in this form inside of the box. So this game is really, really thoughtful for gameplay, for replay, and for ease of just playing in general. Quality game, and a nice abstract game that has, again, a strong theme, even though the theme is your microscope, but you're really just designing. So the 2 games that I think that Diatoms reminds me of in a variety of ways, it's kind of like the Child of Azul and Canvas. So Canvas has these kinds of cards that allow players to go for particular things that you could all qualify for, which is the nice way of playing, the easygoing mood, or you could play the persnickety mood and make it competitive. And so those art cards are going to ask you to do that as well, find certain things in Canvas. But the colors here as well absolutely remind me of Canvas, and the placement of those particular colors inside of your board, much like you do your slides, you are putting particular cards next to one another, trying to bank on the most points for that criteria, which we have a general criteria here. Canvas, of course, has a changing criteria. but it's really, really fascinating. Now, I think Azul because of the grid. There is a grid in Azul where you are planning and taking these beautiful little gemmies and you are essentially creating a mosaic. You're creating a mosaic here as well. This mosaic is just more complex. You have different axes, you have different shapes in different places, but the placement of those for every single round is much like in Azul. You have to take your tiles, place them in the space you want, planning to move them over to your mosaic of your 5x5 grid. And so that is what's going on here. You're building up, and as opposed to getting points during the game, you're going to get all the points at the end of the game. There's so much to like here. So if you are a fan of Azul, if you're a fan of Canvas, I think you should absolutely give Diatoms a try. It has just enough influence from both while still being beautiful, accessible, and replayable. You are competing in the center for opportunities to gain diatoms, but you are wholly by yourself, dealing with your own board whenever you are adding the diatoms to your microscope board right here, which is just fantastic. So, dynamite, new game, Diatoms. Give it a try. I'll see you next time, folks. Bye.